Welcome back. Today we're going to do the week 12 picks, a little in-depth discussion on each game. We did pretty bad in week 11, so we're going to try to make up for it this week. Boy, it's going to be another good week of football. Thursday night football, the Bills versus the Texans. No CJ Stroud. That defense needs to keep them in this game. The Bills are going up against a tougher defense this week as opposed to last week's Buccaneers defense, so this is going to be a challenge for Josh Allen. I would say that the Texans need to run the ball a lot against this Bills defense to have any success in the air game, but the Bills are just a good team right now. They're catching a stride again. Maybe the Dolphins loss was a fluke. I don't know, but they kind of did get blown out. Yeah, I mean, as long as CJ Stroud isn't playing and operating that offense, I don't see a way in which the Texans could beat the Bills here. This one's kind of a clear pick here. We're gonna go with the Buffalo Bills. 34-14. This is the early matchups. We got the Bears and the Steelers going at it. I think that Steelers defense will give the Bears problems because that Steelers defense can shut down the receivers or the running backs entirely. So the Bears got to be able to move the ball through different players, I think the tight ends will play a big role in this game for the Bears. On the defensive side though, with no Aaron Rodgers, never mind. Aaron is playing. Well, I thought he wasn't going to play, but he's playing. So, yeah, I mean, the Steelers, I think, have a good shot to win here with Aaron. Aaron Rodgers' injury might not be as severe as reported, but still having an injured quarterback back there, I would say it's not the best thing to trust in him. I'm going to go with the Bears here. 24-17. I think it'll be somewhat close. The Patriots versus the Bengals. Bengals are without Jamar Chase because he decided to spit on Jalen Ramsey. But what? Why would you spit on another man? And then he said he didn't do it, bro. That was crazy. They caught you in 4K, bro. In 4K. On the sky cam and everything. I think the Patriots are going to put some belt to booty cheeks this week. Drake May, I think he's going to come back here and just destroy that Bengals sorry defense. Bengals will probably get some garbage time points. 38-14 Patriots. The Giants versus the Lions. That Giants defense can keep this game close, and Jackson Dart comes back this week. I think this is going to be a really close game. The Lions are definitely in some hot water right now because they're not the team that we thought they were going to be. Honestly, the whole AFC North or NFC North is a little shaky right now. I think despite playing a bad game for the Lions last week, they can definitely come back into this game. They're at home. They're going to bounce back. 21-28 Lions. The Vikings versus the Packers. Oh my God. These two teams are probably the most unpredictable two teams that we can see in a division. They played down to, the Packers specifically, play down to their opponents and then don't know how to finish games. They literally do not know what they're doing sometimes. The Green Bay Packers versus the Vikings. This game will be probably close. We're bound to see a turnover from J.J. McCarthy against that Packers secondary, And it's at Lambeau. Hard to pick against the Packers here, despite them being a weird team this season. I think they definitely hold the edge here. The odds are pretty close here because it's a division matchup. That Vikings team is just so middle of the pack. They're not good in one specific area. The defense is pretty lackluster. They're sometimes good and they're sometimes very bad. The offense, they're more bad than good. Packers just need to figure it out. I thought last week would have been a great tune-up game for them, but somehow they decided to make it close. 31-21 Packers. The Seattle Seahawks versus the Tennessee Titans. Yeah, that defense is going to terrorize the Titans this weekend. Cam Ward is probably not going to have any time in the pocket, and this will be a great bounce back game for the offense for Seattle to really destroy a Titans defense that is pretty non-existent at this point in the season. They're 1-9. They're tanking for that number one pick. And yeah, the Seahawks definitely got to get the ball rolling again after losing a tough matchup last week. They can definitely do that here. Sam Darnold needs to get back into the flow of things. We got to get the running game back into the flow of things. Yeah, not much going for the Titans here. 48-14. Seahawks. The Colts versus the Chiefs. I think it'll be close. I think the Colts coming off a bye week will look very strong. They can definitely surprise the Chiefs, I think. I don't know why the Chiefs are the favorite here. They've looked sloppy the past 2 weeks. And I definitely think that Colts defense would cause more problems, if not equal to the same amount as the Broncos did last week. The Broncos defense is definitely really strong, but the Colts defense is up there too, you know? So they're definitely bound to wreck Patrick Mahomes' game. I do think, though, the Chiefs are able to shut down the running game from Jonathan Taylor a little better. I think they have the pieces to do that. It'll just come down to the Chiefs secondary and being able to capitalize on the matchups that they get in the air. I think the Colts just have a better flowing offense and defense to be able to counter that Chiefs. Really, it's just their offense. 28-17 Colts. The Jets versus the Ravens. This is not going to be a close matchup. Another belt-ass matchup. The Jets are sorry. Very, very, very sorry. Who's playing this week at QB? I think it's just Justin Fields again. Regardless, the Ravens with Lamar Jackson again, they just look like a different team. So they're going to completely destroy that Jets defense. You know, it's not much else to say here other than the Ravens are the clear better team here. 34-13 Ravens. Welcome to the afternoon slate of games here. We got the Browns versus the Raiders. Shedeur Sanders is starting this game. Maybe that offense for the Browns will pick up a little more, will look a little different with him back there. We don't know yet. He hasn't gotten a full start, so this will be his first one. We'll see how he does. You know, that Raiders offense can't get the ball moving, and that Browns defense, regardless of what the record says, you know, I think their defense is one of the top ones in the league, and they'll probably destroy Geno Smith this game and wreck the passing game and running game for sure. Genty can't get anything going at this point. He got 6 carries for 7 yards last week against the Cowboys defense. The whole season we've been saying that they're not good, and somehow the Raiders made them look good. So the Raiders team is just not a good team. I think this game will be close though, just because we don't know how well that offense for the Browns will gel. I want to say like 17-14 Browns. The Jaguars and the Cardinals. The Cardinals team right now is not looking good. They weren't able to do anything against the 49ers, and the Jaguars did some solid work against that Chargers defense. It was pretty good. Way better than the Cardinals defense for sure. So for the Cardinals, I think they have more injuries on the offensive side than they do on the defensive. For the Jaguars, I mean, they just gotta put hella pressure on Jacoby Brissett on the defensive side, you know, and I think they can do that. That defense is pretty good. It's just really about Trevor Lawrence and whether or not he can get the ball going early. I think this game will be somewhat close to competitive at least. 24-17 Jaguars. Cowboys versus the Eagles. Oh, I mean, the Eagles gotta apologize ahead of time for what they're about to do to the Cowboys. In Dallas too. Oof. They're gonna get spanked at home. Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say here. I don't think the Eagles messed this up, though. The Eagles definitely are the stronger team here, and they can definitely get a ton of points against that very bad Dallas Cowboys defense. Cowboys, at least, I don't know if they'll be able to get much going against the Eagles defense. They've proven now 2 weeks in a row that they can hang with somewhat decent offenses. And, you know, despite the Cowboys offense being really good, I think they're going to hit a wall here. 31-17 Eagles. The Falcons versus the Saints. A division matchup. Michael Penix isn't playing this game. The Saints are coming off a bye week. Maybe they're healthier. They looked pretty good going into the bye week. I like what the Saints are doing. They're just now picking things up and getting a groove of things, you know, despite it being this late in the season, you know, but better late than never. The Falcons right now with Michael Penix out, I don't know how well Kirk Cousins will fit back into that with Drake London not playing. This being a division matchup, though, I think it is going to be a lot closer. 13-17 Saints. Sunday night football. The Buccaneers versus the Rams. 2 solid teams. The Rams are the favorites here, and I think rightfully so. The Buccaneers have their juice has kind of died down from how they were playing early on in the season. I think it'll be a competitive matchup. I don't think it'll be a good one, though. I think the Rams just overall are a way better team here opposed to the Buccaneers. It's hard to see the Buccaneers win here against the Rams. Unless the Buccaneers can shut down the passing game for the Rams, I don't think they stand the chance. And their secondary I don't think they're well equipped to do that. And then on the offensive side, they got to do a better job in passing the ball. Unfortunately for them, I don't think they have enough time in the pocket with that O-line to be able to do that. Got to feel sorry for Baker here. He's going up against a tough defense that I don't think will give up many points. 17-31 Rams. Monday Night Football. Panthers versus the Niners. Oh, yikes. Gotta have faith in the Panthers here. 2 weeks in a row, they've looked pretty good. They've looked solid. Bryce Young, can he perform against a top defense? And the 49ers may be completely injured, but they are a pretty good team still. 49ers are still hanging in there, you know, with Brock Purdy back now. I think they stand a better chance against good teams. Panthers are on the rise. They got to get going early or else they're screwed. They're going to fall back, and the 49ers are not going to let up and really just lock down on defense and stop Christian McCaffrey. He's playing his former team here. He's going to come out hot. They got to be able to lock him down and make Purdy beat you through the air. Yeah, the 49ers have looked like a different team with Brock Purdy coming back, you know, not to take anything away from Mac Jones now, because he did pretty good holding it down for them. I don't like them, but 21-28 49ers. That has been our week 12 picks. I hope you've enjoyed. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe. Yeah, thank you for watching.